Okay, so here we go. We are with Linda Spinelli from Honeycomb Virtual Bookkeeping Firm. Linda, you recently started this business, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So what we are going to do is just kind of do a homepage audit because you're not currently running paid ads. So there's no real landing page yet at this point. We're primarily just going to be looking at the homepage. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, awesome. So let's do it. So I see here that you're a virtual bookkeeping firm. First of all, I always like to do these homepage audits and have it be sort of one of the first times that I've ever looked at your website. And the reason is that I like to look at it with a completely fresh set of eyes, the way that a customer or a potential client would look at it. So if I study your landing page or your homepage for 2 hours, and then I do the audit for you, then it is actually less impactful. So I have a certain few things that I always kind of look for. Your page will either have them or they won't, and we'll sort of be able to talk about them. I will tell you one thing right now. The first thing that jumps out at me on your page that I absolutely love is it is a very, very clean layout. I love the color scheme. I love what you've chosen. I love how the font at the top and how you have the B up here, and it all sort of ties into that, and it's yellow, and the orange ties into the orange in the photos. The whole thing just has a lot of continuity. The orange circle, which sort of turns into black, which ties into this bowl or this candle up here. There's just a lot of cohesion with the site. I feel very at ease. Things are very well spread out. So you've done a very nice job from what I can see so far on just the layout of the site. I also love the fact that it's your face right there because you are the brand right now, right? I mean, right now it is pretty much just you. Is that correct? And maybe do you have one employee or is it just you?
Yep, it's me right now with I will have some support here in the next month.
Okay. So I love the fact that your face is right there because right now you are the brand. Now, I mean, you may want to think about the fact that it says your virtual financial partners, and if it is only you, you may actually, while it's only you, just want to remove the S because because it forces people to wonder, is there more than one person? Am I really getting this person? Am I really getting Linda? Or am I getting somebody else? Is she part of a big company where there's 100 people? Like, what am I actually getting? So you may just want to sort of clarify that if that is depending on what your business looks like. But that's just sort of a minor thing. I do just think that in general, continuity and setting expectations for customers, telling people what is the truth, and then following it through the whole way through is very important, just in general for trust. But it's a beautiful picture of you, and I love what is on your shirt. And I would imagine that there's a reason that you wore that shirt for this photo shoot, which is a great photo shoot, by the way. I'm not sure who your photographer is. My guess is that it's somebody that is super, super talented.
It
And
is.
everybody
She's
should
great.
go see that person.
Absolutely.
But it's a great shirt, right? I mean, it's perfect. The messaging is perfect because as a business owner, I'm looking at you and I'm looking at your page, and yes, you're triggering things in my mind. Do more of what makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy? Bookkeeping,
Bad
right?
bookkeeping. Yes.
So you're telling me, and it makes you happy, right? It doesn't make me happy as a customer, as a small business owner. So the fact that you're wearing that shirt really sort of triggers things in my mind where it's like, you're going to enable me to do more of what makes me happy, which is actually a huge value proposition, which whether you plan it or not is very methodically placed right in the main nav, right in the main header of your website above the fold. And it's colorful. It stands out. It's a pop of color. I love it. So I love what I'm seeing right now so far.
Thanks.
Your title is very straightforward, right? I know what you are, a virtual bookkeeping firm. I get what that means. I think that, and you go down here and you support that sort of main headline with a great subheadline where it's very clear that you are virtual, which basically means we do not need to meet in person. You can be anywhere throughout the country. I would imagine not worldwide, because laws are different. It's basically anybody in the US.
Correct.
So I don't know if this is the case because I haven't scrolled yet, but I would think that you'll want to explain that later on down the page. Like, you can
Yes.
be anywhere. You never meet with me in person. We meet via Zoom and so on, just to sort of further reinforce that.
Yes.
I like this learn more. However, one thing I will say is that on a homepage or a landing page, you really want the call to action to sort of jump out. So whatever that call to action is, you want it to be extremely apparent, as in like, I should not have to even scroll down in order to know what you want me to do next. So I'm not saying that you need to remove this from here. I will say it gets a little bit lost. I don't need, you don't need to necessarily remove it. I would, however, think about taking it and adding a button up here in the top right corner that is the same color as your logo, right? Because again, we're thinking about pops of color, right? We're thinking about where the eye is drawn. So the eye right here is drawn to your shirt. Do more of what makes you happy. It's drawn to your face because you're smiling. And then I think that it would be good if you had a button in the top right corner that says either learn more or schedule a free consultation or a complimentary consultation, or just schedule a consultation if you're not going to do a free one, which is also perfectly fine. But either way, I think that you may want to just make that a little bit more prominent. It'll be helpful to you and you'll probably increase conversion. Also, I'm a little bit nervous that you have two different calls to action that sort of sort of disagree with each other, and they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
I'm okay with, so like for instance, I don't know what learn more means versus send a message. If you want people to send you a message, then I think you may want to make that a prominent call to action. Or if you want people to just learn more by going to a new page, then you'll want to maybe make that a prominent call to action. But I'm not sure what these two things do. So I think that you may want to just sort of rethink the calls to action is all. Think about what you really, really want people to do when they come to your website. Another thing that you may want to look at doing is, people do things when the value of doing those things exceeds the potential cost of those things. So in order to increase conversion on this page, you may want to offer some type of a freebie, basically just for contacting you. So for instance, like you may want to add something here that says, schedule a meeting and get my free checklist of the top 5 ways that business owners pay too much on their taxes in 2021. You're right smack in the middle of tax season, so you're probably seeing it. You're probably seeing the top 5 things, or the top 5 things that business owners missed on their 2020 taxes that they cannot afford to miss in 2021, or something like that sort of compels them to take action. So maybe they want to schedule a time, but they really also want that lead magnet, right? Yeah. So they'll be that much more inclined to get in touch with you, and it positions you as an authority in the space and shows that potential person, even if they don't download it, it shows them that you know what you're talking about, because you were able to publish a piece of content that tells them the 5 things that probably cost them way too much money last year. And inherently, that should build your authority in their mind, which is going to increase your conversion rate. And it's basically free to do. I mean, you probably have that checklist sitting in your desk. It's probably on your computer somewhere. The 5 things that you have to look for. I mean, there's probably 50 things, but you don't have to do 50. You really only have to do 5. And then maybe they sign up for an email list where they get 50, like over a 10-day period of time. So you're building the brand. So we're not even really scrolled down. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and you definitely have some opportunity to get some more conversions. Let's keep on going. I'm going to pause this while I take a sip of my coffee. Hang on just 1 second here. All right, so here we go. We're going to resume the recording here. Disorganized books can weigh heavy on your mind as a business owner. With all the other factors running a business, your accounting should not keep you up at night, be keeping you up at night. Okay, 100%, right? I love the fact that this is problem, agitate, solution, right? So you're telling me what the problem is. This is classic copywriting, and it's tried and true. It's effective. Disorganized books, right? And with all the other things that you have to do with running a business, this should not be keeping you up at night. Problem, agitate the problem, solution. We focus on making your life easier. It's very, very good copywriting. Here's the thing, right? There's one rule of the way that people read on the internet. They don't read. Okay. So what they do is they skim, right? They skim, and you have to make your website so skimmable that people don't actually have to read your copy. so that, and they can still understand what you do and like, and why it's beneficial to them. So let's just take a real quick look at an example landing page where they do a really good job of this. It's monday.com,
Okay.
right? So they're doing basically a very, they're doing a similar thing as what you're doing. I mean, they're not an outsourced virtual bookkeeping service, but what I mean is it's all headlines. What do? What is monday.com? Like if I ask the question, what is monday.com? I should be able to look at their headline and know exactly what it is, right? And I do. It's a CRM that I actually want to use. Boom. I don't have to read anything else. Again, clear call to action, kind of like what we were talking about before. Purple, pops of color, right? Very easy for me to understand what they want me to do. And I can choose my own adventure here, which is also pretty cool. But I don't have to read all their text. Seamlessly move, works however you want it to, work more efficiently and save time. Benefit, value, right? Benefits, social proof, right? Benefit, social proof, 127,000 customers, right? And there's probably only 100 words of text on this page, right?
Yeah.
So I think that what you need to do is just look at your copy, and you could leave all this copy, but I think you need a big fat headline.
I see. Yep.
And the headline could be something that is like, calls out who your target audience is.
Yeah.
For busy business owners who want to grow without having to get in the weeds with their books or something like that. I mean, that's not a good headline, right? We would have to work through what a better headline would be. This is an audit. I'm trying to do this kind of quick, but what you need is a headline there. And then your subtext should support that headline so that if they never read it, they still get a very similar amount of benefit.
Yes.
And then this is a great value proposition so that you can focus on your business, but you can even take that a little bit further. Like, why do I want to focus on my business? What's important about focusing on my business? Business owners, like me personally, I don't necessarily want to focus on my business. I want the result of what happens when I focus on my business. I want to be able to spend more time growing my business. I want to make more money. I want to be able to spend more time with my family and have more freedom. If I don't have you doing my books for me, then what I have to do is work for my 60 hours a week as an entrepreneur. And then I have to spend another 20 hours a week doing my taxes and my bookkeeping, my so on and so forth, unless you solve my problem, right? So I want to have us talk about the problem that we solve here. So I would just go a little bit farther. Anytime I do a headline, anytime I'm doing a sub headline like this, I'm always thinking about things like, how can that be better? How can it be more impactful? And then if you don't know how to do it, ask yourself why 5 times. So you can focus on your business. Why? So you can make more money. Why? So you can do the things that you want with your family. Why? So you can be a better father or mother. Why? So you cannot miss junior soccer games. Maybe that is the why. So that you can focus more on junior soccer games instead of the books, right? These are the kinds of things that we want to look at, right? So just ask yourself why a bunch of times, and you'll ultimately get to the real reason that people actually need your services and the problems that you're solving. So this is all great. It could just be a little bit improved, right? And I think it would just be more impactful, and you would see more you'd see more action. And you need a button. I think you need another button right here.
Yeah. Okay.
And your button could be something like, take your Saturdays back. Start taking your Saturdays back now.
Yeah.
Or start taking your nights back now.
Yeah.
Or start being able to actually focus on This Is Us instead of doing your taxes or The Bachelor,
Yes.
whatever it is. Another thing on button text, just so you know, in general, button text should answer the question, I want to. So I want to learn more. That's fine. If we look over here at this one, I want to get started. Let's look at Wealth Simple. It's another financial site. I want to get started. They're using Get Started the same way. Very clear calls to action, beautiful imagery that supports the headline. Same thing with FreshBooks, right? I want to buy now and save. Clear green call to action, pop of color. It matches the green here. It's not an accident. So whatever your button text is, it should complete the sentence, I want to. I'll tell you one word that you should never use on a button. and it's the one that's used most often, and it's the word submit. Because nobody wants to
Oh,
submit. Nobody.
yeah.
Unless they're in an arm bar at jiu-jitsu, or
Mhm.
unless they are, involved in some weird thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody really wants to submit. So we don't use the word submit on our buttons.
Bad
I even,
connotation.
I even sometimes I catch it on our website too, and it just makes me so sad. So just keep that in mind, right? Headline. Let's see, and honestly, let's see if we can make this one paragraph.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, let's see if we can cut those words in half so that it's that much more poignant, and maybe even use bullet points somehow, and then make this the real why, the real statement of value. What's the
Yeah.
result that they're going to achieve by doing this? Okay, down here. So there you go, right? You talk about the why right here. I love it. Perfect, right? So I think that you need to start that story right here so that you can
Yeah.
focus on your why. Well, what is your why? Right? So here we go. Perfect. Love the story that you're telling here. You're showing me what life looks like after I start working with you. And I think you may even want to say that.
Okay. Yep.
Here's what life can look like after you start working with Honeycomb Bookkeeping Services, right? Or get back to, I think, what is your why is a good headline. I would suggest that you test a couple other ones in this section. So
Okay.
maybe one of those tests would be, what would life look like if you didn't have to do the books?
Yep.
What would life look like if you had an extra 20 hours a year, right?
Yeah.
What would you do with your extra 20 hours per year, which is on average the amount of time that business owners take to do their own books? I have no idea if that's accurate. Right?
It shouldn't be.
But like, what would you do with that extra time? Really give people a tangible idea of what they're sacrificing,
Yeah.
and saying no to by not working with you.
Yeah.
Make that abundantly clear in this section. This is beautiful, right? You could just take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And then here's my call to action, right? So very good. Phone number and email address. This is good. So there's a few things. And then this is good down here. I like this. How does it work? There's a few things that I just kind of want to skip to a little bit, right? A few elements that I think would make the whole page a little bit more impactful. Number one would be social proof. And
Yes.
I know that you're just getting going, right? I know that it's a newer business, so you don't have a ton of Google reviews yet, but that's actually okay, because you could just ask people to write you written testimonials and emails, and you could take those emails and paste them on this homepage, right?
Yeah.
You don't need them to be Google reviews necessarily. Certainly that's good if you can do it. And if you get yourself, when you get yourself up to the point where you have 30 or 40 Google reviews, what you're going to want to do is actually have those automatically feed into your website.
Okay.
Like I'll show you, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I'm not trying to shamelessly self-promote here, right? But we're doing this. So I want to show you. These are just brought in directly from our Google page. And the reason that that's valuable is that they are very, they're authentic. You can tell that they're authentic. You can tell that I haven't just copied and pasted the good ones. Like, they're literally just coming in from Google. And you know that because you recognize the Google label and you recognize the star. And even if a couple of people think, yeah, but they could have just programmed it that way, fine. Every once in a while, somebody might think that. But for the vast majority of people, they're going to look at that and go, okay, this must be the real deal. You can also use things like the trust pilots of the world. And then I would use a term that's not, that sort of shows your affection for your clients, right? So that's what we've got going on here. But there's other things that you can do. Like, you can say things like, join the virtual bookkeeping revolution, like these happy business owners.
Yeah.
So that you make the user feel like they are part of a movement, part of a tribe. You're using an influence principle of liking. You're basically saying, we don't have to take this, right? We don't have to take this getting together and having to fly all over the place thing. We don't have to take this like paying too much for bookkeeping services thing. Join the movement of business owners that are doing it right. One company that does a really good job of that is Shopify. I want to show you their website. All right, so we're back to this. You've been working on testimonials, right?
I understand the value of that.
Yeah.
That's my top priority right now, working with clients, collecting information so we can get that information streaming across that homepage.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think that whether it's Google reviews or whether it's a handwritten note, I've had clients write me a handwritten note before, which doesn't, I mean, we don't think about it, but like, think about how impactful that person is that's seeing that handwritten note. Because not only did somebody take the time to write you a testimonial, they literally took the time to handwrite it, put it on a piece of paper and mail it to you. That is how much they love you. And that's an important sentiment to share with the rest of the world, don't you think? I think that really matters to people, especially in 2022, which is when this recording is being done, where, nobody does that anymore. So whatever you can do there, it's going to be beneficial, because again, you can paste a copy of that handwritten note here. And again, it has credibility because they know that you didn't just, write it yourself and like plagiarize it. So it's all about whether it has credibility. A pasted review from some other place doesn't actually have credibility because people just assume that you just took the best ones. So it needs to have that third-party verification. Here's another good example of a landing page where they're having people join a tribe, and they're really describing what your life looks like as a small business owner. As a matter of fact, you can take a lot of notes from Shopify's landing page because you're selling to the same crowd in a lot of cases. Here's what the life looks like. You got an idea, you make it a business, and we're just going right down the timeline using beautiful imagery, telling a story, talking about joining this revolution, right? That's what gave me the idea. I basically stole it from here. But it's amazing. I don't feel bad about it because it's such good messaging, and it's one of the biggest companies in the world, right? They know what they're doing, but like, really, you're selling to this guy right here. You're selling to these women right here. This is your target audience. So like, if you're running a Facebook ad, all you need to do is choose Shopify as your targeting parameter, and you're going to get your target audience for the most part. Because you're looking for this small business owner who doesn't want to be held back by, the constraints. Helpful so far? Very, very helpful. Lots of notes. All right, cool. I know I'm going a little bit longer than I said I would, but I can't help it. I love what you're doing. So anyways, I would definitely have some social proof on here. And then I would also have some certifications, right? So you obviously went to school, right? I'm sure you're certified in like a million different things. You've probably got well over 10,000 hours into this profession, right? You've been doing it for a long time. And so I want you to tell me that on this page. Okay. I want you to really sell me on that. I want you to sell me on why you are the best. Have a section down here that says, who is Linda? And right on the homepage, don't make me scroll, because a lot of the people are not going to don't make me visit another page to learn more about you. I understand that there's an about page. And if people want to learn about you, they're going to go to your about page. Here's the thing. They might not, right? What if they don't? So let's find a way to do it. Maybe it's just on your homepage. And right here, you've just got 4 different action blocks or 4 different benefit blocks accredited by the United States Accounting Association. Over 10,000 clients helped, because I know that you obviously have done this for a really long time, right? So just show your credibility, show your badges, show your education, whatever it is that demonstrates to me that you truly know what you're talking about, and you're going to do a great job for me. Yeah. Okay. And do it soon. Don't make me scroll. Don't make me work too hard, because this page has to be about selling me on staying on the page and why I should take whatever it is your desired action is. So sell me, sell me, sell me, sell me. Okay. In a way that makes me not feel like I'm being sold, by the way. Because people don't like to be sold, but they sure do love to own things, right? Or they sure do love to buy things. And then finally, whatever you can do to offer some sort of a guarantee. And I know that that's probably really hard, and it may not even be possible, but it usually is possible. So for instance, like, like you probably can't offer like a money back guarantee for your services. Or you probably
Mhm.
can't offer a guarantee like a lot of companies can, where it's like, you'll be happy or we'll work for free. You probably can't actually do that. But you could do things like schedule a 15-minute consultation with me. And at a bare minimum, you're going to get my 5-point checklist of the things that you need to look out for on next year's tax returns, or the 5 things that companies, the 5 ways the IRS is reaching into your pocket and stealing out of your child's college fund. You know what I mean? Like, so no matter what, you're guaranteed to get some value out of our 15 minutes, value that will save you thousands, right? Or make you thousands, whatever it is. You know, the 5 loopholes that nobody knows anything about, that only the richest 1% of people, revealed in my 5-point blueprint, right? And it's going to take you probably 3 days to put together, but it's going to provide value for you forever. And
Yep.
that's a form of making a guarantee that builds value in your offer, which is to basically just set up a time to talk to you, reduces cost because there is no cost, but I'm also getting a lot more in return, and it's a guarantee of value. So even if we decide not to do business together, I'm getting this thing,
Yeah.
right? So all of those things are actually going to enhance your conversion rate. So I know I've given you a lot, right? I've given you a lot of pointers, and I know that you built this website yourself, right?
No,
Oh, you
I did a
didn't?
lot of the copy. I did a
Okay.
lot of the copy, and
Yeah.
I worked with somebody closely, but
Awesome.
um, somebody
They
else
did
did
a
the layout.
phenomenal, they did a phenomenal job. They really did a phenomenal job. Um,
Thank you.
Key action items, I would definitely say you're going to want that. You're going to want that lead magnet. You know, I think
Yeah.
you're definitely going to want that beautiful PDF downloadable item. Obviously, there are great copywriters out there. You can write it yourself. You can provide the bullet points. They can write the copy. Get a graphic designer to sort of design like what the ebook cover might look like. Add that, you're going to get a lot of conversions. Do the things that we kind of talked about. Talk with the person that built your website. Ask for some suggestions on the items that you do want to implement. They'll probably be able to implement these things very, very easily. But they did a phenomenal job. So whoever it is that built it deserves, in my opinion, like a big round of applause. It's really beautiful. You did a great job on this.
Thanks.
So I
Yeah.
hope that was helpful. Do you have any questions for me at this point?
No, absolutely. It was very helpful. I took a lot of notes, some easy things to change, and just tweak and, make it even more efficient and more attractive for, whoever is popping in here. So no, I've taken away a lot. I'll be in touch with my web lady
Cool.
and get her cracking on some of this stuff.
Awesome. I love it. Good. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.